what's it going to be like to record a podcast again. Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it right now.
Guys, we missed you.
We've missed you so much, our little freaks.
Oh my God.
Our sweet baby freaks.
I know y'all have missed us. I have gotten so many messages along the lines of, if a new episode doesn't drop soon, I'm ending my own life. And I just want to...
And that was just me.
It was just Katie. And I want to let you know, end your life. No.
No. The number for the suicide hotline is 988, or you can call our new phone number when we give that to you.
Yes, and we will handle it too.
We'll handle that. You're gonna get handled. We're almost at 1,400 downloads.
Oh my God!
And this is our 15th episode, so I feel like that's good per show.
That's great.
Good per show.
And if you guys don't think I can handle it, I have dated so many guys with screenwriting majors. So if you don't think I can handle a suicidal phone call, then you don't fucking know me. All right.
You don't even fucking know.
You don't fucking know me.
But yeah, we got a new phone number. I'm going to find it. I think I sent it to you, but I don't remember when. So
I don't recall. Oh wait, yes, because it spells out that thing.
Spells out the thing that you all like.
So yeah, we're going to have a new segment. People can call. Everyone asks when we're going to have guests, and really what they mean is, when can I be a guest on your podcast? And it is flattering that people want to come hang out with us. And the answer to that is, if you can provide your own microphone and figure out how to make the sound good with 3 people.
Good luck.
You're in, champ.
You're in.
But until then.
So I think ideally my goal would be to just, copy Red Scare and do like a Valentine's Day love line type thing.
Oh.
And you can ask us all your romantic questions.
Yes, because Katie and I are both successfully in love.
We're so in love.
And very smart.
So smart. So in love.
Not toxic.
Oh, here we go. We go. Here's the number. And we'll say it again at the end. But if you want to, we could put it on our Instagram.
Yes.
We could do anything we want. God. We're women. It's a phone number from Spanish Fork, Utah, but it will go to my phone. I won't answer it, but we'll keep the messages. So leave a message. It's 1-385-437-3257. So that's 385-4-FREAKS. 385-4-FREAKS.
That's so fun.
We're very excited about the phone number.
So y'all can call for your Valentine's Day questions, and we'll play it on the podcast. So we're gonna get someone just fucking jacking off, I bet.
And the
fingers crossed.
The day that I sent you that text message was the day something very exciting happened as well.
So y'all, I know you're thinking, you guys, we haven't been here in a while. And I'm not going to point the finger as to why we haven't been able to record. But what I will say is, it's not my fault. So it's
all my fault. I asked for it.
Katie was dressing a certain way. Katie, do you want to let us know what's been going on in your life? Why we've been...
I was dressing in all blue in a Bloods neighborhood. So here's a little story and a trigger warning. Gun violence.
Gun violence. You shouldn't even call it a trigger warning. We should just call it...
a warning, a trigger warning.
Thank you.
That you may be triggered. No, I can't say it. Oh. I'm not taking this seriously because I don't have a therapist.
Not yet. Not yet. Guys, comment below if you think Katie should talk to someone. If Katie should talk to a counselor.
God willing and the creek don't rise. So I had a very exciting couple of weeks. I went to Jacksonville twice in 2 weeks, which, as we know, is the comedy capital of the world.
Incredible.
And the second weekend I was there, I came back on a Monday, January 9th. Mm-hmm. I got home. I was very tired, but I still did all my duties. I took care of my baby, who I'd left at home by himself. And I texted Nick Murphy, who's co-hosting Star Bar, can I do Star Bar? And he said yes. And so I went and I saw my lovely friends do comedy. And it was so fun that I stayed extra long. Even though I went up third, I stayed through like the 11th or 12th comedian. And as I was going home, I turned onto like the main street that we live on, and I saw like blue lights coming towards me. So I was like, fuck, let me get inside the driveway. And then they were like following me down the block, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm fucked. And then I turned into our driveway, and they were in the cul-de-sac. So I was like, okay, maybe it's for somebody else, because why would they be at my house? Turns out they were at my house, because when I let myself in, I hear my boyfriend Chris go, "Come in, officers," which is, on the scale of things you want to hear when you come inside, what would be number one?
Hi, beautiful.
Yeah. So, hello, officer.
And just to clarify, he had never referred to you as officer before, so you were confident he wasn't talking
I was pretty confident. I mean, we haven't even discussed role play, so I didn't think he thought it was like, here I am with my little cap on. I got my gold stars on my shirt.
on your nipples.
And this is very stupid, but the back door was locked, which it's never locked. Because we live up against the woods, so I would just like let myself in when I come in at night. Well, what had happened was our house got shot up in a drive-by shooting. We need a soundboard. That's our next investment. And we can also bleep all the fucks I said. It would be fun. But so I go inside and I see like police officers and I see Chris and I don't know what's happening. Like I really just don't know. Like I'm stupid and it doesn't compute in my brain until Chris goes, the worst thing ever happened. And I see his hand, which was like twice the size of a normal hand. So I'm like, ooh, his dick must be bigger too. And these are the kind of things I have to say now to keep myself sane. But and so I thought, remember we talked about my neighbors?
Yes.
I thought, because I looked at his hand and I looked at the TV, which had a bullet in it. And I thought they had shot each other from the other side of the house, like one bang, and like it went through our TV. And I thought that was the worst thing ever. Because I'm a caring person. I don't know.
You're so caring.
I'm so caring. But as I'm like looking around the house, I see there's like 4 bullet holes in the window. Like one starts up high and they kind of go lower. And they went through, 2 went like through the wall. 1 went all the way through the whole apartment, through the back window.
Oh my God.
So like, like I don't even know if they found all the slugs because 1 was in the TV, 1 I helped them find.
And
so
there was slugs?
There's slugs. Yeah. And not your garden slugs.
Oh.
Slugs. And since this, I've talked to more people who like have guns and they've told me the right terms for these things because comedians don't know the right words.
I buy that.
Right? I was like, they shot 16 times at the house. And Matt Patchney like goes, that's a whole clip. And then I said that to somebody who was in the military. He goes, they're called mags. He goes, they're going to know, you don't know what you're talking about if you say clip or magazine. They don't know what they're talking about on the news.
Oh my God.
So I had a nice time talking to an Iraqi war veteran who also, he has nighttime PTSD. And I went, well, things could be worse. So yeah, it's just something we never thought would happen. And so we're sitting there and they keep going like, and forgive me, I'm going to do some of the jokes I've written about this.
Please, yeah.
Because they're good jokes. And sometimes people don't laugh at them because they don't know that I'm telling the truth. Like, that's the weirdest thing is, like, I've said it at Skull, like the Thursday or Friday after it happened. And I, like, prefaced it like, this is really fresh. This happened on Monday. So, if, it's real, get ready. Like, I keep priming people. Maybe they don't need that. But, like, the first time I said it, like, the whole audience gasped. Like,
it is a shocking thing.
It is a shocking thing. But then I said it in Nashville one time, and the whole audience laughed.
But you said you
I
were
did
living.
set it
it's
up.
because you said you were in Flat Rock.
So yeah, I guess like I go, yeah, I'm living with my parents in Flat Rock because my house got shot up in Atlanta, and they all laughed really hard. But that was all set up, so I guess there might be a punchline there.
I could see you were already so hot, and they were already loving it. And it is a funny like. That you'd only stay with your parents if your fucking house got shot up.
That is true. Yeah, I was doing good. In Asheville, I'm the queen.
You are the queen of Asheville. I've heard it myself.
You go to Charleston, it's all Cody used this, Cody used that. You go to where Cody lives in Asheville, they're so glad to see me.
Where was I when I texted you that someone asked if I knew who you were? Have you met Cody Hughes' sister?
Was it also Charleston or was it Nashville?
It wasn't. I'll tell you one thing for certain: they do not fuck with you in Charleston. They don't give a shit about you in Charleston.
Oh, I was in Greenville after 4 shows of somebody introducing me as Katie Hughes. 4 shows in a row. Somebody who does. He moved here recently, and I gave him all of your information. So good luck. He goes, "Are you Cody Hughes' sister?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I knew there was something." I'm like, "You knew there was something. It's our last name, sweetie." Sweetheart. So,
but back to the jokes you were trying.
Back to the jokes I was trying to do. So, like, this happened. So the cops are going, like, "Does anyone have a grudge against you?" And y'all know old Katie. She doesn't leave the house but for comedy. So I'm like, what? An open micer is like in a fucking like, "You bumped me, bitch," and like, "Prah." And then
Which, can I just interject for
yeah,
a
yeah,
second?
of course. Interject whenever.
I was very, after you, and I know I'm joking right now, but I was very supportive when Katie
She was so
called me.
supportive.
We had a very good, long, serious talk that had some lights in there.
You were the first comic I told.
It was, it's crazy.
Like, yeah, so yeah.
But then I was thinking after, I was like, oh my God, not to make this about me, but what if I'm next? Like, I thought, what if it is some insane person you bumped on a list? And then I also bumped them too.
It's some guy doing pull-ups and both of his fists say nonies.
Yeah. What if this is like someone...
Or her fists. Or...
That's right. No need to be sexist.
Or their fists.
Or there you go.
We're being targeted by a gun-toting non-binary.
You bet this Atlanta, baby.
We're diverse, but angry.
But then I thought that same thing. I was like, oh God, what if it's an anti-fan of the friggin' show?
I had that moment where I'm like, we did talk shit about my neighbors, but it's not like I don't even know their names, so it's not like we said their names.
We've talked shit about so many people.
Everybody.
So many people, and that's what we get the most positive in. Like,
people do love that.
We would stop if our only comments on iTunes wasn't like, these ladies don't give a fuck.
Which honestly is the vibe, like I couldn't even put in words when we started this. Like that's what I want. Like we don't give a fuck. Sometimes we don't want to hurt your feelings if you're listening, but we
also don't want to get shot. So if whoever that was could cut it out, please.
We love you.
You can get a spot whenever you fucking want.
What's the best spot at an open mic? 3rd? 7th? Those seem to be the numbers people like.
3 or 7. Because if no one's there, people could come by 7.
Yeah, a lot of numerology believing in open mics. Like you're all of a sudden into like math, like
like shut up. But seriously, unless you have a gun, then let me know.
Keep talking.
Keep on going.
Words are better than bullets.
Absolutely, you will never. Well, I was just gonna say you're never gonna kill with a bullet, but you could. But you could also kill with your words.
Try it. You'll like it. You'll like it.
You'll like how it feels.
So they kept going. Is there a grudge? We're like no, and then like. In my head, I'm like, should we tell them about the neighbor's ring cam? So I kept like kind of mentioning like they've got a ring cam on the back door, but I didn't want to be like, look in their house. You know what I mean? Like you can't say that.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll check the footage though to see if there was a car or something.
I think so, but they also even told us like it might have been too dark for it to pick it up.
Well, then what the fuck is the point? Stuff that you want to pick up on camera happens at nighttime.
Yeah. It's not like they were there to shoot up the thing and be like, an Amazon package.
Yeah.
Like that's what people use ring cams for, I guess. But also so the way they shot was like from an angle as though they knew there was a ring cam, which I guess you could see a little blue light or whatever. Yeah. But they shot at an angle. So I feel like we were not the intended target. It looked like one house.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because there's like the front door to their house and ours is kind of like to the side of the window. So like you have to do that, go around it. And Chris had the TV on and there weren't lights on their side because it was like almost midnight. So that's my theory, is that it was for them or it was just entirely random. Like, I don't know, people say, is it a gang initiation? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't get like an invitation to their like gang quinceañera or whatever.
It's not like Hogwarts, you know?
Right. An owl drops like a mag full of bullets down the chimney. Also
mistaken identity. Like they thought the people who lived there were old people that lived there or something.
Totally be it. Or maybe they were like, the neighbors, they did hair before, so maybe there are people who've been in the house and they were like, oh, there's also other things we'd like in that house. I don't know what it is, but neither do the police. So I'm like as good as a detective right now.
Yeah, that's probably more because you're probably dedicating more time to thinking about it.
I have, because I started looking, I went down a real deep rabbit hole of other people who'd been drive-by shot in that area. And there's one from 2018. This lady who didn't live at the house, like it was like her and her wife were going to play like with their friend's band at his house, and it was like a 2-story house.
The story's already tragic.
It's already bad. Yeah, like it already wound up way worse than ours because like Chris, my boyfriend, is fine overall. Like his hand got grazed by a bullet, but like nothing else physically happened to us, so it's like very, very
Thank
lucky.
God.
And we even heard, like, the cops outside being like, man, if he'd been standing up. It's like, yeah, what if, huh? Fun to imagine, guys.
So not helpful.
Yeah, not helpful. Oh, you didn't think I was standing here listening to you? Well, I am. And so there's this lady, and 2 bullets went through the first floor window. One, like, barely missed the drummer, and one hit her in the head, so she died. And there's, like, a big reward out for it. It hasn't been solved in 5 years. But it wasn't a targeting. It was 2 cars pulled into their cul-de-sac, which we also lived in a cul-de-sac, which I thought was safer because...
It's supposed to be safer.
Right? Like, why would you want to commit a crime where you could potentially be trapped?
Yeah.
That sounds silly. And what happened was there was 2 cars, and I don't know how they found this information out, but like 2 cars, like one followed the other, and then the passengers shot at each other, and then stray bullets hit this building.
If you're gonna, if you and your friend are gonna shoot each other, just go into a field where no one else is around, like in a moving vehicle.
Yeah.
It's just so.
Why don't you just go kill yourself?
Yeah, that's just so insane. And I bet none of them.
Not caught, still not caught, still
not
a reward.
Injured.
But to me, and it happened on Snapfinger Drive, which is like, they even said that the car turned down McAfee, which is the big road that I live on off Candler. Not like my main road. I'm not going to give you the address until I leave, and then you can have it.
She's not there right now, by the way. So
I'm not there.
So don't even fucking try it.
Don't even try it. I ain't never going there.
She's literally not there.
And so that was one thing I thought was really interesting, was like maybe that was what happened, and it wasn't even at the house.
Yeah, it could just be so random.
Yeah, but at the same time, like the shell casings like led up the driveway as though someone walked up the driveway.
It's just so it is an entire, and I don't know the term, so I'm going to say an entire gun.
It was a full gun, and then when they left, it was an empty gun.
It's just so. Wait, will you say about your dogs? What your dogs were doing?
Oh, so Chris was holding Cadence on the couch, and Monkey was probably like eating her asshole somewhere. And then Chris like dropped to the ground after he heard it, and Cadence was in his lap, so she kind of hit the ground too, and then she army crawled like with him, and I didn't know she was that smart. And
Genius.
And Chris was like, he didn't know where Monkey was, but it was like you can't really care about that in the moment. So it was very like comforting to hear both of them barking. Like after I realized what had happened.
Oh.
It was the only time I've liked hearing them bark.
Wasn't one of them just running though, and like?
Yeah, Monkey was just like. Just having a good time.
Running around.
Yeah. And so like the whole house is like covered in sawdust and all this stuff, and like obviously no one has a grudge against us. Like that feels very dramatic if there's a grudge against 2, you know what I mean? So they kept asking questions like that. Then they kept asking like, did they yell anything before they shot? And so my joke for that is, yeah, they went bullet delivery. To me, that's very funny, and it worked at the Skull, but it hasn't worked in North and South Carolina.
Oh, it's so silly.
It's very silly.
Bullet delivery.
Bullet delivery. Or, like, what were they going to say? Like, it's me, Charles. Like,
do you remember me? It's silly Jamie. I had to do the bucket at no names.
I wanted to go 7th, and you made me go at the end. That would have been something. But Chris said they kept going, how many shots were there? And even though you could clearly see there were 4 holes in the window, Chris goes, I heard 2. Because I guess it happened so fast.
I can't imagine what his mind and body are going through that quickly.
Well,
yeah.
I was like, I don't think I would have known to like, maybe instinct, but like he just like knew to get down and like crawl and find his phone, and he did like all this stuff he had to do.
God, I'm also so impressed that his phone, that he had to go crawl to get his phone, because my phone is on me at any fucking given time.
Well, that's funny because that has not changed his phone carrying techniques. I'll still like call him and he'll have to call me back. Be like, I had to find my phone.
I mean, good for him that he's not attached to his phone, I guess, even though he needed to. I mean, it worked out, but
yeah.
For me, my phone would have been up my fucking asshole already because I would have been on TikTok or some shit.
I guess it's good. Maybe the battery won't be dead on his phone. I guess. I don't know. Like,
I mean, yeah, instinct goes fast. He knew to drop to the ground.
Yeah, move, call, like all that stuff, and like. He said the cops were there in 60 seconds, which was like
what?
15 seconds before I walked in the door. So it's like, did I like it? You know, I never like go, oh, these are the cars I like. That would be an insane person who's like, on the way home, I passed these kinds of cars. That's a different kind of autism than the kind I have. I know every name of every dog I've ever worked with, so I've got a lot of space taken up already. We can't worry about Nissan Sentras going down the street.
God.
And so, like, maybe I even passed them or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, anything could have happened. But I certainly drove over all the shell casings when I came up the driveway. So, the other thing, they you know, the EMTs were there because Chris's hand, and I was like, I wasn't here, you know, and I told them where I was and all that stuff. And I was just like, can I sit down? Like, I had to ask to, like, sit on my own floor. Like, I was just, like, so, like, shaken. I was just like, can I sit on the floor, please? And they're like, uh-huh. But in the joke I've been doing, they go, I'll do it for you.
Oh, yes.
They go, were you hit? And I go, yeah, I got 2 holes right here. And I think one of them's bleeding. And that's been killing. And then I do a call back to that tampon bit. I go, and the cop gave me a tampon.
She pointed to her butthole.
My tootie and my pootie.
her vagina.
So that's been my favorite one to tell so far.
That's very funny.
And then the other thing I thought of, just being at home in Flat Rock, is growing up, there were Civil War reenactments by my house all the time, like in this big field by my house in the summer. And so, like, I was trying to work on a thing where it's like my mom's like, I can't believe you want to live in Atlanta where there's always gunshots. I'm like, I was used to it because, we had 2 gangs fighting up the street, the Grays and the Blues.
Yeah, you had bayonets.
Yeah.
You had the gunshots that you had to...
Yeah, the gunshots were not as close together. Yeah. We could have counted them better if they had been muskets, I believe.
Well, thank God you were okay.
I offered the ambulance driver, I go, do you want me to take him to the hospital? That was one thing that...
Yeah, why did they have to go in an ambulance?
I guess, so I think there's different kinds of ambulances. I think there's the one you call when, like, I'm going into labor, I'm having a heart attack, whatever, and then they come and it's like one of those bad ones that John Oliver talked about on his show. Yeah, and so in my mind, I'm going, we can't spend $7,000 on an ambulance or whatever. But I think the city ones come no matter what, and then it's like part of the package, part of the Atlanta party package is that
That's
you get
so dope.
you get the party bus, you get the big light display, you have friends,
you get male strippers.
Male strip. I was like, all right, fellas.
All right, so
okay. Chris, a little surprise.
When are you gonna take out those handcuffs if someone arrest this gun.
Someone arrest this gun. And I don't know what caliber they were, but like they were like maybe an inch big. And so I just kept thinking about like all the cop shows I've watched where I'm like, I have learned nothing. I don't know what any of these motherfuckers are doing. You know what I mean? They're kind of just milling.
Yeah.
They're milling about.
What an odd.
And then they put all of the shell casings, I thought this was weird, in the same paper bag. But then when they came in my house, they're like, we're looking for the slugs. So they got the one on the TV. And I found one on the ground. So I made a little joke. I was like, guess all my Law and Order's paid off.
Did they love it?
They did laugh. I'm still doing bits.
Yeah, she's
the
still
whole time.
She's still telling the comics. And I was at Star Bar tonight. If you come out, Eddie, I'm usually performing there.
Well, when the so like I kept going. Can somebody stay until I leave? Can y'all make sure that somebody's here until I go? And they're like, yeah, we'll do that. And I was like, are you sure? Like I was very codependent with them. And then like right as like the cop,
I would have fallen in love with the first cop that was nice to me. It would have been a mess.
Well, the one who stayed, he was a very handsome man.
Fuck.
He was very handsome. And he goes, because I'd said I went to open mic, and like as he was like leaving so I could go out the back door, he goes, how was your show tonight? And I just go, I killed.
Oh.
And he asked me who my favorite comedians were, so I said Maria Bamford, and he had like the blankest look on his face, and I went Bill Burr, just to relate to a man. And he liked that, and he goes, do you know who Joey Coco Diaz is? I went, yeah, I was just like, yeah, I agreed that he was funny, even though I didn't mean it in my heart.
But we are so happy Katie's okay.
I'm very happy I'm okay.
And freaks, that's why we haven't been here, and this is the time to send us money.
Can somebody set up our Patreon?
If you've been thinking like I'm really waiting for that one thing to send the freaks some
we'd
gifts,
love some money.
This is the time. Like I don't know what else you fucking want.
When else would be the time to send us, all of your spare income?
And all of that stuff is so funny. I'm impressed that you were able to come up with things so quickly.
Oh, thank you.
And so close to the event.
Well, I figured like if I don't maybe make that my focus. Because, like, all I think about, I feel like the first week it was, like, a lot of, like, what ifs.
Of course, yeah.
Which Minori Hines, who's a very funny comedian who also has, like, a master's of social work, like, she was like, that's your brain, like, processing it.
Yeah.
Like, just getting rid of all the information in every, like, possible reformation of whatever it could be or whatever. So, like, it's a lot of what ifs. Like, what if his head was there? What if I was home? Because if I had been home, I would probably be dead. Like, truly, like... there's no way that both of us would have been like I love getting up and walking around the home when I'm there. It would not have been good. And that's what I kept thinking about. And then now that I've been at my parents' house, I just keep thinking about how bad that is. So that's helpful.
I mean, I just can't imagine, because I was having what ifs, and I wasn't even, and I'm adjacent to the situation.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine what y'all were going through. And let me just say, Katie has been handling it. I told Katie she could be a bitch for a while if she wanted to be, and she has not been. If it was me, there would have been an Instagram post immediately. Oh, woe is me. No one fucking talked to me. Just kidding. Everyone give me your attention. I would be processing in a very, you've just been handling it very well.
Thank you. Externally. Internal, like at my parents' house has been like a lot of like, well, I feel like I need like my own space, and it's like very nice that they've let us stay there.
Yeah.
But it's also shit where, like I was telling you earlier, it'd be like I told my mom I was tired, and she said, "Why?" Well, I don't know. Maybe because I've driven back and forth to Florida twice in 2 weeks, and my house got shot up, and now I had to live in a hotel for 4 days, and I had to drive here and get asked questions is why. Like, and then I still, had gigs on the books. Like, I'm recording in Helium this weekend, which is supposed to be my little special. Doesn't feel special, but I feel like maybe that's good. Maybe if I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. Honestly, this seems like the most insane types of circumstances that are going to be good for a special. Like,
yeah.
For you to, I could just picture you being like, yeah, I got my house shot up, then I filmed my second special. That's just how Hughes do it.
That's how us Hugheses do it. I mean, I will say, like, anytime I've had like a bad thing, and like even if Chris and I are like rarely fighting, like. One time we were fighting and I went to church, and you know how hard that show can be. I fucking crushed at church because, like, I feel like when I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, well, comedy's like the one thing I have to like focus that energy on, and it's just like a lot more like intense.
Yeah, when I feel vengeful or spiteful, I think I kill because
Yeah.
it's like the energy of being like I'm gonna show. It's the energy of the point in your finger of like you oughta, and then you're doing it all in the set.
Yeah, and it's like. Well, I don't want to feel bad about one more thing.
Yeah,
like, so it's kind of like I have to do good, but like finally I can not think about that thing and only think about this.
You have no choice.
Yeah, and I feel like I did really good. Like all my shows at the Skull were really good, and I started doing those jokes there.
It's a good reminder to always fight with your boyfriend.
Always fight with your boyfriend. Hey, pick a fight after you get done listening to this.
It's fun to pick a fight.
Could be about anything. Why did he leave that there? Who was she?
Yeah, why do you hate me? What? I don't hate you. Okay, and I just have to take your word for it.
Okay. Prove it. I bring out the lie detector.
I just think it's interesting you haven't told me I'm the most beautiful squirrel in the world today.
But Chris, who was there, has been very sweet to me. Like, he's always nice, but like, he's been like, I feel bad because I'm like, you're being so nice and I should be nicer to you. You know what I mean?
No, you're both. You're taking turns.
We're taking turns.
It's a balance.
Being baby.
Yeah, you both of you need to be baby.
We both need to be baby.
You both need to take turns being baby.
Unfortunately, our dog Grandma is beating us with a stick.
Your fucking dog.
I mean, Monkey is allergic to flat rock. She has like mats on the back of her legs from scooting around. She's just scooting on the carpet all day trying to itch her butt. I'm like, God damn it. Can we have one nice thing?
These fucking dogs.
And they're being very like needy because like at home, like we'd be like on the couch sitting there working, whatever. And like in flat, it's like very hard to like relax anywhere. My parents have a lot of wicker furniture. Have you ever sat on a rattan couch?
No. What? It's a wicker couch? Like,
yeah. So growing up, we had a wicker couch from Pier 1 Imports. And it was always a nightmare to sit on. And now they have 2 wicker chairs with cushions on them.
That sounds so amazingly
It's a very uncomfortable home.
Uncomfortable.
But it's not like a fancy home. Like, it's not like, oh, you must be on your P's and Q's in a home. Like, it's like just very like, you walk through the living room, and my mom like has like, like moms have their little collections of things once their children leave. So she has all these bottles that she's always collecting. They're all like these blue glass bottles. They're very pretty. But if you walk like one step near them, they all go clang, 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 clang. And it feels like there's an earthquake just because you're walking. And I'm like, they've never changed the noises in this house. It's very jarring. And then like the table is like the table that they eat dinner at's so high. It's like a 5-foot table. And so the chihuahuas who love being in our laps while we eat are on the ground screaming. Screaming. And my parents have a little dog named Badger who's very nice, and he has like one tooth. And
the Hughes got that in common, don't they? They love their fucked up mouth dogs.
Fucked up. But he's a good dog. Like, his eyes are nice and clear. He listens. So like Cadence has known him for like many interactions, and Monkey's just like getting to know him, and she's so terrified, but she'll like try to play with him, and he'll like get near, and she'll be like, ah! And run. And then there's a 20-something pound cat who everyone is obsessed with.
Oh, I want a cat so bad.
His name's Trey, and he's great. He's a very nice cat, but Monkey always wants to get in his face, and he'll be like, and then she'll scream and run away. And then once he makes a noise, Cadence goes, "Should I kill it for you?" And then she wanders blindly around that house. She sniffed a dish towel for 5 minutes thinking it was the cat.
We got to get y'all out of there.
I know. And then my dad caught a rabbit yesterday.
What? What is your dad's name?
Peter Cottontail.
Okay, Peter caught a rabbit?
Peter caught a rabbit, and I said he couldn't do it. He'll never do it. Chris goes, he goes, I saw your dad today. He was out in the woods trying to catch a rabbit.
What? Why?
So next door, okay, so you know my trampoline bit?
Yes.
No one good has ever lived in that house. So the trampoline people aren't there anymore. It's a new guy who moved in during COVID, and I think he had some kids living there, but it was like a single dad kind of situation where we don't see the kids a lot.
Got it.
Yeah. So who knows what's happening? And he has this terrible dog named Archer who just goes boo all the time. Boo, and that freaks Monkey out. It's really bad.
The dogs are at the pinnacle of all the issues I've heard so far.
The dogs are stressing me out. But you can't kill them because that's wrong. You can't just like put a dog down for no reason. You could be like a bit of kid.
You could say the reason, just
I wouldn't do that.
Of course, those dogs are beautiful.
Even Cadence,
love the babies.
Even Cadence, as ugly as she is,
They're
it's
your
like
babies.
she's my baby,
Yeah.
And she's still eating, and she's still like excited to see me. So
She's
it's
living
like,
a good life.
She's happy. We're not, but so okay. Archer's dad, whoever this man is, and this is some real North Carolina shit. So I want you as a vegan to prepare yourself.
Oh fuck.
They had this rabbit.
Okay.
And I guess the kid said, "Daddy, we don't want that damn rabbit no more. We're tired of it. We want a guinea pig. We want a hamster." And so this man, and it's a beautiful rabbit. It's like, it looks like a chinchilla.
Aww.
Like it's got this really nice
It was a pet rabbit they just let out?
rabbit. They let it out. Archer grabs it by the neck. And my mom is, okay, here's the thing about my mom. She's conflating two different stories in her head because she goes, and it happened the same day your house got shut up. I'm like, it absolutely did not, because I didn't call you for 3 days. So it happened the day I told you.
3 days after the fact.
But she's like making it like all about her, all about Barb. Just kidding. Love you, Mom. I know you don't listen because we say fuck. So Archer got it. The rabbit's screaming because rabbits scream.
Oh God, they do.
They do scream. It gets away. Archer gets it again. It gets away. And then my mom, who saw all this happen, just has to go to work. She's like,
so fucked up.
it's like a real Silence of the Lambs moment
Yeah.
in Flat Rock. And so on Saturday, I was in Greenville, and comedians, here's a tip: if you have somewhere to stay and they are paying for your hotel, make sure you ask for a buyout with like 48 hours notice, because they will give you the money a lot of the time, but they don't want it to cost them money to cancel the hotel. So I had to keep the hotel. Otherwise, I would have gotten the money. And they told me I could do that next time. So hot tip.
That's a great tip.
And so I had the hotel basically for my shit and like hang out between shows because like a block away from the club. But Chris shows up and he goes, "Your dad's trying to catch a rabbit." I'll never do that. Well, wouldn't you know it? Sunday, he catches that damn rabbit.
But to be fair, the rabbit's already been like, the heart has already been fucking punctured in its throat, right?
It's so healthy.
Oh, what?
I guess it like maybe got the fur only. Like it is not bleeding.
Oh, wow.
It is a fully intact, beautiful rabbit.
What's your dad gonna do with the rabbit?
I think they're gonna give it to like an animal rescue.
That's great.
They're not gonna give it back to this man.
Yeah,
but they don't want to keep it because that man can see.
Yeah.
He can't see in the house, but it was out on the porch, like just jumping around.
Why does he
and
have
shit.
such a vendetta against the rabbit?
I don't know.
That reminds me of my grandma on my mom's side grew up in Canada. They were very poor and they grew up on a farm, and there was this like wild rabbit that would hang out at the farm, and she named it Peter. But
Good name.
Just great name, Peter Cottontail. But you know what rabbits do, they fuck up your crops. They like eat the crops and shit. So one night she sat down for dinner and she was like eating soup. And she was like, "What's the soup?" And her dad was like, "It's chicken." And she was like, what is it? It doesn't taste like chicken. And he's like, it's chicken. And then literally, like in a fucking movie, she just stops and she goes, Peter! And they fucking killed the rabbit and fed it to her.
That's wrong.
And then the dad like put down the spoon, and yeah, they were all up. It was a lose-lose for everybody.
Yeah, nobody's gonna like eating their friend Peter.
Yeah, it's like I get you had to get rid of the rabbit because it was ruining the food supply you had, but
Maybe give it to a neighbor. Maybe disguise it with some. But I just imagining like a paw floating to the top of the soup bowl, and they're like, "Oh, you're lucky."
his little cute flower he wore in his ear.
Oh, Brer Rabbit went through the farmer's garden that last time. So then last night they had to catch him again on the porch. They had to catch this damn rabbit twice. And so my mom comes inside holding like a 20-pound rabbit.
What? I'm so
Or 14
jealous.
pounds, I think that's what she said. It was like smaller than
Did you
Trey.
take a picture?
I'll take a picture when I get home.
Yeah,
Send it
I
to
want
you.
some pictures.
And then my dad made him a condo downstairs. So he's got like the generator cover and it's got a fence in front of it. And apparently rabbits can go poopy in a cat litter box. So he's got that.
Well, that is just so charming.
Yeah. So that's nice.
Maybe they'll keep it.
Well, here's the opposite version of that story. When Cody and Caleb had rabbits, their names were Oscar and Chudley. They both had a rabbit. And one of them died naturally because rabbits live, 2 years?
Yeah.
Like little rabbits. And then the other one.
They're also pretty dumb.
They're very dumb. They're beautiful, but like this one was just trying to kick and get away. So like these were, I think, more docile rabbits maybe. My mom also told me it's a chinchilla. I'm like, I know what a fucking chinchilla is, Barbara. Barb. It's not a damn chinchilla.
Barb. Fuck.
One of them stopped eating and then kind of like just went to sleep but never died. And so they just had this like comatose rabbit in their house. And I was like,
That's haunting.
y'all gotta do something about this rabbit. Like, you gotta put it down or whatever. And they're like, well, it's still alive. It's still breathing, which is like the total opposite end of the spectrum. Like, do you think I'm going to put Cadence on like a respirator when she's like on her last legs, but it's still pushing her body up and down? So like there's the rednecks who will just let their animals die from their hunting dog. Or there's like my parents who are like, in God's time.
That is so fucked up.
Yeah.
What ended up happening?
It eventually passed away, but it was like weeks. It was a rabbit coma last weeks. That's a good album title. Rabbit coma.
Should we do questions?
Let's do questions.
We have a lot of questions since we were absent.
What if we tease the people with the questions and then we do that'll give us 2 weeks